Now, Chelsea Manning is an American hero, and today she is now finally free. Now, this is just after 7 months after Barack Obama commuted her sentence in what was one of his final acts that he deservedly gets a lot of credit for. Now, of course, if you were to go further and pardon Edward Snowden, he would even get more credit, but unfortunately he didn't go in that direction. But still, credit for commuting the sentence of Chelsea Manning. Now, Manning spent about 7 years in prison. Now, already that was double the second longest sentence in any leaking case. Now, I remember reporting that they absolutely threw the book at her. 35 years. 35 years. And not only that, but during that time where she was in prison, she was tortured, stripped naked, kept awake with lights. She was on suicide watch and not allowed to have a toothbrush at all. Not allowed to have anything. Oh, she's a danger to herself. No, no. You have made her into a danger of herself by depriving her of her humanity and her rights. That's why later on she did have 2 separate suicide attempts. So it was that kind of torture that she had to endure. All for, of course, leaking information that the American public needed to know. Now, thank goodness she was freed early, that they actually did the right thing. Now, I couldn't imagine spending 28 more years in those kind of inhumane conditions, all for doing what I believe is doing the American people a service, letting them know what the government's doing in our name. Now, according to the New York Times, what she plans to do now that she's been released isn't exactly clear. Speaking to Army Lieutenant Colonel Jennifer Johnson, who confirmed that Miss Manning was released earlier, said that, hey, you know, we don't know, we're not going to release information on where she's going or what she's doing. That's up to her. That's up to her and her defense. Okay. Both her military and legal team, seeking to avoid a media circus, disclosed very few details about her release and immediate plans. Now, Miss Manning's support network traced about $138,000 in online donations to help cover her initial living expenses, has said she eventually intends to settle somewhere in Maryland, where she has family. But her supporters have also been secretive about where she will be for the next few weeks, hoping to give her mental and physical space and safety to adjust. And that makes all the sense in the world. And then that, I give her, you know, I wish her luck. Right now, she needs all the time and space that we can give her, out of respect, because she endured something that was horrendous, that nobody who's had the right intentions should have to endure. So she's going to need time to adjust. And look, we now live in the era of Trump too. That in itself is a huge adjustment. Now, Chase Strangio, an American Civil Liberties Union lawyer who helped represent Miss Manning over her medical treatment in prison, said, "I look forward to working with her in the coming days and weeks to provide her with the support and stability she wants and needs to heal and plan out the next stages of her life. The traumas of the past few years will not simply evaporate when she walks out of the prison." And again, that's why she needs some space, okay? Now, a member of her support network also said their legal team, which also includes Nancy Hollander, who worked on her appeal, intended to put out an announcement when she was safely resettled on Wednesday, and that it was possible Miss Manning would choose to say something on her Twitter account at XYChelsea, which I believe she did. There was actually a tweet where she took a photo and said, "My first steps to freedom." So that was awesome. That was it was good to see. It was very heartening to see that. Now, I said that she did America a service. She did Americans a service. Well, how so? Well, she let us know what the government was doing in her name. Now, she released a lot of files through WikiLeaks, by the way. One of them being the Apache attack video. Now, what that did is that it showed us doing abuses to innocent civilians in Iraq. Not only that, but the leaks also showed backroom diplomatic dealings and discussion of local corruption around the world, as well as intelligence assessments about Guantanamo Bay detainees. That's just a small amount of the information that she had given to WikiLeaks and that WikiLeaks later released. Now, her disclosures also put WikiLeaks on the map. Now, If you remember some of the reporting about this, that wasn't her first, the place that she wanted to go. She actually wanted to go to some of the more mainstream outlets. She wanted to go, like, for example, the New York Times. The New York Times was like, not interested. No, that's actually challenging the people in power. We don't do that. We're the New York Times. We are the people in power. We represent them. So she ended up having to go to WikiLeaks to Julian Assange. Now, she said she did that hoping to inspire worldwide discussion, debates, and reforms. Now, unfortunately, we never got to those reforms. But people like me, WikiLeaks, and other organizations, we're going to continue to push for those discussions, debates, and in the hopes that they will become, that they will lead to reforms. And look, she is far from done. Mr. Strangio adds, there's no question in my mind that as she navigates the future, she will remain and emerge as an even stronger advocate for trans justice, government transparency, and the core principles of democracy. And we need that more than ever. So, welcome home, Chelsea. Welcome home. It's about time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.